Hello, Cleveland. This is Alan Keller from the Too Much Effing Perspective podcast, and welcome to Quick Taps, short episodes with short stories for short attention spans. Our show today is entitled Starfuckers, Spinal Tap Moments where famous people, also known as stars, were, well, fuckers. Our first story comes from Peter Jest, owner of the Milwaukee club Shank Hall, named after the club in the movie This is Spinal Tap, who recently wrote a book entitled We Had Fun and Nobody Died, a title given to him by former TMEP show guest Brian Ritchie of the Violent Femmes. Peter tells us about needing lawyers, guns, and money to deal with a couple notorious acts.
They always say sex, drugs, and rock and roll. That's very rare in reality. I mean, Warren Zevon, I loved. We did a lot of dates with him, but one of the funny things was he goes, Peter, can you go out and find me a hooker? And I said, Warren, you're the rock star. You go out and find one for me and go find two. Yeah, the one time I did Sam Kinnison just blown up. He came out of nowhere. This was at UWM back in probably 86. Him and his tour manager were all on coke all the time. And again, I'm 19, 20 years old. And at the end of the night, Peter, we're going to go down to Chicago and party with Sika, the adult actress. And you want to come with us? And I said, no, that's okay. I'm going to go home and get a pizza and watch Green Acres. Yeah, there were some interesting people back then.
Our next Spinal Tap moment comes from Dave Trumfio of the band The Pulsars, who tells us about the time Liam Gallagher from Oasis kicked him in the balls. Wait, I mean, he kicked a ball at Dave, and I think he missed Dave's scrotum completely, but I'm not sure about that. Listen to the story and find out.
So we're doing our sound check at Aragon, and they have soccer balls on the main floor. Liam, the singer, he's like basically dribbling around the whole floor in front of us while we're doing our sound check and taking like midfield shots on the goal, which is us doing sound check. There's like balls like flying past us. What the hell is this? You know, it was like kind of insane. Even like the road crew was like, okay, enough.
And our final fabulous story comes from author and photographer Scott Nathan, who recently released the Big Book of Bad Decisions. Scott tells us about the time he got stung by a legend.
I worked for Warner Chappell Music, the publishing company. So my boss asked me if I would go do a meet and greet photo with Sting. And he says, yeah, go down to I think it was the Airy Crown Theater. And he said, yeah, your tickets and backstage passes will be at will call. So I take a photographer friend to snap the photo. And I was just like, all right, well, let's go find Sting and knock this out. And I said, hey, Sting, I'm with your publisher. My company asked if I would just do a quick meet and greet photo with you for the trades. And he goes, that'll be $50, mate. And I think he's just a Geordie taking the piss. And I go, oh, you're funny. He goes, I'm not joking. Why do I have to take photographs with everyone? And I was like, dude, it's not a fan photo. It's a work photo. He goes, so you're not a fan? I said, no, I am a fan. I saw 3 Police tours. I'm a massive fan. Been a fan since Outlandos. He goes, I'm not taking the photo. And I'm like, you got to be shitting me. And he's being really rude and smug and sarcastic. And I just go, you know what? You're a fucking asshole. Paul McCartney made us tea the other day. And you talk to me like I'm your fucking maid? Fuck you. And my friends are looking at me like, did that just happen? So then I jump next to him and I say, just take the fucking picture. So the picture's unusable. We both look pissed off. And then we're walking away down the hallway, leaving backstage. And my friends are like, are we staying? I said, yeah, we're staying. They're like, we're going to stay for the show? I go, yeah. We drove downtown. We're going to the show. So we hand the usher our tickets, and we're not in the front row. We have 2 folding chairs set up for us in front of the front row, right in front of Sting's microphone. So he comes out, And he's got this like Ponzi Victorian table with a teapot and matching teacup and a vase with a single rose in it and his tea. And he sees me and I see him. And I just yelled at him and called him a fucking asshole. We're like 3 songs in. He's doing this really down tempo of Roxanne. And my dad loaned me his gigantic Motorola cell phone that was like the size of a World War II military field phone. And it's in the bag because my dad's like, you're driving downtown in case I need to reach you. Here's the phone. So those phones did not have vibrate. That was either Marshall stack loud or off. So this thing starts ringing during Roxanne. And I'm fumbling through this messenger bag trying to shut the freaking phone off. And I just quickly answer it. I go, Dad, I'm in a concert. I got to go. And the Airy Crown Theater goes dead silent. And Sting steps up to his microphone. He goes, sorry, everyone. Bloke down front here's on his telephone. So all these people start yelling, you asshole, get off the phone. You're an asshole. Get off the phone. So I'm like, sorry. And he's just giving me this stink eye. And I'm like, I'm going to get fired for this. This is going to get back to my boss. But it never did.
You know, I too have had many interactions with celebrities, and they've usually not been fuckers. But I remember when I was 10 years old in Milwaukee, and I was face to face with Milwaukee Buck and NBA legend Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Now, Kareem back in the 70s was notorious for being aloof and not really willing to sign autographs. But I followed him after a game all the way out to his car, and it was amazing because we were alone. There was nobody else in the world except me and Kareem. And I went up to my hero and I said, hey, Kareem, can I have your autograph? Now, again, nobody was around. It would have been very easy for him to just sign it and move on and make the day of a little fan. But instead, Kareem said, no way, kid. Then he got into his Carmen Ghia, which I have no idea how he fit into, and zoomed off. Shoot ahead 5 decades later, and I ran into Kareem again at a farmer's market in LA. He recognized me from the podcast and said, hey, Alan, I love the TMEP show. Could I have your autograph? And I said, no way, Kareem, bringing this story full circle. You know, of course, I'm kidding. I gave him my autograph. What do you think I am, a fucker? I hope you enjoyed this edition of the TMEP show. Thanks for listening. And don't be a fucker. Please rate, review, and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever else you listen to whatever you're listening to. And tune in next week when my co-host Alex Hoffman and myself return for more Spinal Tap Moments on Too Much Effing Perspective!
Although it would be as great as having armadillos in our trousers, this podcast is not affiliated with This Is Spinal Tap, and no person or entity connected with the film has sponsored or endorsed its content. This podcast is not affiliated, sponsored, or licensed by Authorized Spinal Tap LLC or Century of Progress Productions. Too Much Effing Perspective is a Milwaukee Talkies original. Evergreen Podcast Network.